Good morning and welcome back to another movie reaction. Today I have a Unsold TV pilot from 1959 called Destination Space. Don't know anything about this other than it did not sell, so nothing more happened with it. But we're going to check this out and see what's going on in Destination Space. Let's get started with it. Almost forgot to put my hearing devices in, and of course they're all tangled up. All right, there we go.
Destination Space.
All right, now we got audio.
The rocket ship rode in orbit, close to an incredible wheel-like structure that spun gently in an ocean of seeming nothingness.
I have seen the wheel-like structures before.
This multi-man space station, dubbed BB, Benedict's Billions, had been made a reality by a tremendous number of scientists and technicians working against fantastic odds. And all of this stupendous effort had been spent in preparation for the next few moments to come. It was nearing the end of
right.
the rocket ship that was intended to carry the first men into orbit around the moon. The principal responsibility now was upon one man. That man was director of the U.S. space program.
Close bypass valves. Bypass valves closed. Monitor nozzles. Nozzles adjusting.
The sync, audio sync seems to be off a little bit. Boy, sometimes that can get so much worse as the movie goes on.
Again, heat exchanger instrumentation check. Heat exchanger instrumentation check begun. Advance reactor power to 10% criticality.
Reactor power advanced 10% criticality.
I'm worried about you. Preset Vernier engine SpireX to run position. Worried about what?
I recognize both of those actors
After you're getting a mite old for this sort of nerve.
from other things, but I don't know who they are.
It makes me as happy as a sockeyed salmon swimming upstream. Program heat exchanger. Heat exchanger programming. Doc, do you have a confirm on rod control reading?
Confirm. Criticality holding 10%. Gradient advance tracking curve.
Dave, may we have a check on your stellar inertial platform stability?
Locked up.
Pretty cold this morning again. Very rainy outside.
South Point, Island of Hawaii, ready for tracking. Solomon's, Bougainville, ready for tracking. Singapore, ready.
So are they launching from Earth or from the space station out there? I'm not sure.
Jodrell Banks, Manchester, England, ready. Guillemot, Galapagos, ready to track. Barrow, Alaska, standing by, ready for tracking. This is ground communication control. Dr. Andrews is ready.
Dr. AA, do we have a confirm on manual override? Pre-programming vector to target on
I see a couple more familiar actors.
Confirmed programming.
Both those gentlemen in the suit, gentlemen in the suits,
Dr. Logan, do we have a confirm
have been on Perry Mason.
fuel calculation?
One of my favorite shows. I like to watch at bedtime.
Pressurize main mercury tank.
Main mercury tank pressurizing.
And I've seen two of these, him and the other guy in the suit. I've been on Star Trek, another favorite show.
This one's over. You worry too much. It's the old story. Only two
I've
things
seen
can
these two guys
happen.
before.
Either go or no go. If it's no go, only two things can
TV
happen.
actors.
Either try it again or somebody else tries it. If it's go, only two things can happen. They either make it or they don't make it. You're not as tough as you sound. You're just as keyed up as I am. You're tracking me. I'll be glad when this one's over, too. What the devil's this?
Uh-oh.
It's heading this way, fast. Hit the alarm.
Oh,
No go. Lock off all working fluid.
No go. Stop the pile.
so where are those guys at in the space ship? That's my question. So these guys are in the wheel spaceship. Or the space station, the big wheel. I've seen, yep, they just got attacked.
Come in, BB. Come in, BB. This is ground communication control.
They must be in Earth, at Earth.
Contact.
GCC calling BB.
This is Captain Schramm aboard rocket ship.
BB in collision with meteoroid.
Stabilize orbit. Stabilize orbit.
Boy, plenty of action here.
Guidance control, report on orbit. Guidance control, not manned and ready. All report, sir. Damage control, report. Sections 5 and 18 sealed off with brakes and skin. Multiple fires in generator compartments. Switch to auxiliary power. Interlock guidance and automatic burn your controls to hold orbit.
Love the old black and white outer space movies.
Come in, please.
BB is pitching wildly, but seems to be sustaining orbit.
If they go, what happens to us?
All I'm worried about right now is them.
Hey! Dog! Come in, please. Benedict rocket ship. Oh, Dave, come in. Can you hear me? Come in.
Putting patches on screen.
Some damage, but I think we're going to be all right.
Comment down below if you saw that. Okay, so that's the... Yeah, there's a second station there that looked like it had a rocket ship that was getting ready to blast off. And I think that's those guys that were in there. I'm not sure now.
Oh, boy, it sure got it in here, didn't it? Yep. Guess it's what you'd call beaten up. We'll have to rebuild the entire package. Luck. No crap about luck. If that thing had collided with us directly, then nothing left. Barely grazed us. This is only part of the damage.
Is there much other damage?
Two other sections are ripped up a little. The important thing is nobody was hurt badly. I'm grateful for that.
And we held it in orbit. That's something else to be grateful for.
Still one more thing we can be grateful for. At least this is one setback they can't blame on us.
Benedict's
He's entitled to voice his opinion.
He's making a lot of noise trying to get himself some headlines. He and people like him couldn't help the enemy more if they were paid agents.
Just you two, you'd think that we were heroes to everybody but the politicians. From all report, the bulk of the press has been equally hostile all week. The prices we're costing them, they want success, not failure, regardless of cause.
Excuse me, sir, but Washington is on the radio phone for Dr. Benedict. The communications officer said to tell you it's the White House.
Oh, so that's Dr. Benedict there. So the space station is his. Or it was named after him.
And that man's name is James Benedict.
Yeah, there's a little spaceship there off to the side. That's what I thought was getting ready to launch. Now,
Well, what did the president say?
Direct
Washington.
quote, I don't want anything
Apparently.
to happen to the space program. We're in for a tough appropriation fight to save it. I'm depending on you.
Maybe someday. What you do is so important. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm very proud of you. I'll be glad, though, when you're back to stay.
I hope you don't mind. I invited Kim to join us for Dave's sake.
Of course I don't mind.
Hello. Oh, Jim, gee, it's wonderful to see you.
Thanks.
Kind of a stinker. I haven't heard from you all week long.
You're never home. I phoned you for 3 days. I tried for hours to get you this morning.
Well, that kind of proves that one of us is a fraud, doesn't it? Jim, you really are looking just great.
Because I lead such a relaxed life.
May I take your ornament?
What are you two having?
Mixed green salad.
Yeah, that'll do just nicely, thank you.
You're looking pretty trim yourself, Kim.
I've been eating like they were going to prohibit it tomorrow. I have put on 5 pounds.
It doesn't show.
Oh, yes, it does when I stand up. Now stop being evasive. Tell me everything, Jim, because I want to hear it.
Well, let's see. Dave's in flawless shape. I don't have to tell you that he misses you. Expect he tells you that on the phone all the time.
He's been telling me that he misses me practically since the day we were married. That's kind of the story of our lives, how much we miss one another.
Move over, you have company.
Well, at least you gals won't get tired of us.
Oh. Is that so hilariously funny? And I don't see any humor in it at all.
Really, Kim, I don't either. We needn't abuse ourselves about it.
It would do very much good not to mention it at all, either. I have a feeling that it's going to go on until I'm old and gray. Or until you kill him.
Kim, what a terrible thing to say.
Maybe. It's true. The newspapers call you the Space Project Team. You don't seem like very much of a team to me. They take all the risks and you take all the bombs.
You don't mean that, Kim.
Here come the victuals.
Tell me about the accident.
Not much to tell beyond what you've already heard and read. We're close to the finish of the countdown. Just happened to run into a fair-sized meteor. Suddenly we found ourselves with all bets off.
So what happens now?
We have to shuttle up parts, repair the station, and we reschedule and try it all over again. That is, if we come through this investigation successfully and still have the funds.
You know, when I heard about the collision, I almost died. There was a news flash. That was horrible. Kim, this is
Well, I wish I would move back on to some outer space stuff.
sitting out your whole life waiting to hear that
This is actually getting a little boring now with the non-outer space stuff.
I'm sorry.
You're not sorry. If you were, you'd stop pushing.
We can't stop. This is something we all believe in.
I don't.
Kim, there's no reason to take it out on one another.
Now I've got to face another long wait. While you reschedule things, try again. And then I'll see Dave for a few weeks. That is, if he comes through this. But then there's another project. And take Dave away again. So let me tell you something, Jim. I am sick and tired of your being the master and Dave being the guinea pig. And I think deep down he is too. One of these days, I am going to do some very fancy screaming about it.
Kim, it's not my fault. Don't blame me. It was an act of God.
In that case, there's nobody to blame but you. Because that's the role that you play.
Oh, she didn't eat her dinner.
Very sorry for her.
So am I.
Sorry for you, too. She's quite unfair to you. You didn't already have enough trouble. Enough to worry about.
At this moment, is the satellite in particular hazard because of the damage sustained?
No, sir. It has ample auxiliary power to keep it functioning within safety factors. But until repaired, the station's usefulness is impaired.
Dr. Benedict, for the record, how much of the damage to the satellite resulted directly from the collision itself?
A little, actually. The meteoroid was a large one, but it
I recognize two more well-known actors there at that front table. The guy with the hammer and then the one sitting next to him.
Section 5, from some hurled fragments.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have a few.
That guy there.
So,
Both of them.
No, Senator, that was not directly involved.
the delay in the space project and the huge added expense, which we can certainly expect to be heaped upon us, are due then purely to the space station being up there.
I'm afraid I don't quite understand your question.
All right, I'll put it another way. Let's talk about that rocket. If it had been designed so as not to be dependent upon the space station, then there wouldn't have been any reason for delaying its attempt on the current moon project, now would it?
It's getting a little boring, unfortunately.
Excuse me, sir.
This
You're supposed to be one of our nation's
outer space
great
stuff.
minds. You should be able to understand this simple question.
I'm kind of losing interest in the movie already.
100% independent of the space station. Would there or would there not have been any reason for delaying its attempt to orbit the moon?
Well, that, would be in the range.
So I want to take this opportunity to explain what I mentioned before about being familiar with the big wheel space stations. My favorite outer space movie of all time is called The Green Slime. It's from 1968. It's a Japanese outer space movie, and it all takes place on one of these big, wheeled space stations, and you get to see a lot of the inside and how it all works. So it's more modern than this, but it's a favorite movie. I wish I could react to it, but I watch it probably a dozen or more times a year. It's sometimes when I can't go to sleep, I throw that in the DVD player, and it just puts me right to sleep. It's a wonderful movie. I highly recommend The Green Slime. Anyway.
I'm plenty mad.
Dr. Andrews is right, Jim. This isn't a hearing. It's a mammoth soapbox.
Oh, good coffee.
You're quite right. You're exactly right. The man's grandstanding. And he doesn't care who he hurts or what it costs.
I'm used to it. It's practically a normal environment for me. Besides, it's not just me he's after. It's the wheel he's opposed to.
Nonsense. He's opposed to everything we've done. He fought us from the very beginning, knowing that the publicity would make him famous.
All right, that's true. So he's a demagogue, and so he makes loud and repetitious noises until the impressionable begin to listen. But I still have faith in the majority of Congress, and I have faith in the man in the street. He can be lunch. That's what the recess was for. Now let's keep it official.
Oh, no, I don't feel like it. Every time I think of that fabricating, phase-making phony, I lose my appetite.
No wonder. It must be awful to be a sitting duck for an utter nitwit.
It is. But worst of all, it gives the opposition a chance to blow their loud horns.
Oh,
Maybe
this
we should blow some of our
movie's
loud
in
trumpets.
danger of
Oh,
putting me
come
to
now,
sleep.
Dr. Andrews. I never heard of bragging or an
It's
egotistical
not
statement
exciting
out of you yet.
anymore,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
Well, perhaps that's what's wrong with me. I'm too modest. Dr. Logan here is too modest. You're too modest. And the thousands of people who work for us are too modest.
Well, what do you want us to do? Start taking bows for our latest delay?
No, but we needn't go on hiding our light under a bushel either. June was right when she said that miracles are performed around here. They are. Every member of our unit performs them. I perform 6 or 7 of them every day before lunch.
And Dr. Andrews, if you can't perform a miracle, you build a machine that performs one for you.
Oh, that's the easy part of it. I do other things I wouldn't believe possible if I hadn't done them myself.
Jim, I do think it's time you did a little bragging.
So do I. And this afternoon, whether they introduce me or not, I'm going to give a speech.
I bet it'll be a wonderful speech.
I never made a speech in my life, mind you. I've given lectures, but I've never made a speech. This afternoon, I give a speech, and I'm going to tell them all they can go, jump in the river.
Dr. Andrews, if I asked you to give me a promise, would you keep it?
Why, of course, you know that. What is it?
That speech. Don't.
Mr. Chairman,
Dr. Benedict?
before the lunch recess, Senator Royce made a statement about the space station, intimated its use being limited merely to its being a jumping-off place. Well, I think it only fair to place in the record a correction to that impression.
Proceed.
Freed from Earth gravity and atmosphere, the space station is a complex working base.
Unfortunately, I'm
Many
noticing
highly
that the
critical
sync
functions
is
are
getting
performed. Weather
more and more
forecasting,
off.
astronomical observations,
Sometimes you just can't
radio
help
and
it. It's
television
just the way
relaying,
it goes. As the
and
movie
many
goes
highly
on.
important military uses, only one of which is global reconnaissance.
In a way, it
Well,
kind of
now, we've
adds
had
to
all
an old
sorts of
movie like
satellites in
this.
orbit, telemetering back data long before you built that contraption up there.
Yes, we still have. And I might add that the station is now servicing some of those very units. But let's forget all of that for a while and let's talk about some facts of life.
There are equally learned scientists who feel that it is delicate and unreliable. Any number of these scientists talk to me. And I can tell you they have my ear. Now, what do you think of that?
I think it's lucky, sir, that it's your ear they have and not mine.
I don't think that this is any time for levity. I'll tell you what I
Levity,
intend
you
to
don't
do, sir. I have
hear
a
that
scientific
word very much
advisor,
anymore.
Dr. Kurt Easton, whose reputation is unassailable. I'm going to see that he's appointed to return with you as official observer on the station. I think we've arrived at the moment when this committee is entitled to some first-hand reports, which may not necessarily be in concert with yours and your personal organization. And I can tell you the Pentagon better not try to block it.
If this committee sees fit to appoint such an observer, I assure you no one will try to block Dr. Easton.
And now, sir, I want, here and now, as part of your testimony, an honest and frank appraisal of whatever other predictable hazards the space station really faces.
Sir, there are any number of hazards and dangers, ranging all the way from radiation to innumerable possibilities of mechanical failure. But if you demand my frank appraisal of what I consider to be the greatest danger, it's the vacillation, the continuing swings of certain sections of public opinion. From the earliest days at Cape Canaveral, when we were first trying to outdo the first Sputniks, many people have teeter-tottered between anguish and triumph. Political opportunists ready and waiting to grab a headline by jumping on the crest of each wave, whether it be one of enthusiasm or one of despair. Those of us on these projects are well aware of our responsibilities. And we recognize the value of committees such as this one, calling us in from time to time for a reckoning. And it's good that they take us to task and keep us on our toes. It's of little importance whether one by the name of Benedict bears the principal responsibility or someone else. I do not speak for myself, except to say that if I seem to be failing, I should be replaced immediately.
But let us make up our minds once and for all whether we want an all-out space program or not. And if we decide that we do, as I pray we will, then let us remain constant to that purpose. And in the name of the future of our country, let us stop being like a changeable wind, blowing hot one day and cold the next. Instead, let us go forward in the American way, pioneering new frontiers without fear, taking pride in accomplishment, yet facing dangers and disappointments with resoluteness and without qualms and complaint.
Well, it looks like everybody was happy with this big, long speech.
These are the awful moments.
Yes, they are.
I'll be thinking of you every second.
And I, you.
Dr. Easton, may I present Miss Kramer?
Hello, Doctor.
Delighted.
Oh,
Going with me to the wheel as an observer.
that is
I'll join you in just a few minutes.
Quite a night.
Edward Platt,
I've been around a lot of rockets in my day, but I've never ridden in one.
otherwise known as
I'm beginning to feel
the Chief on Get Smart.
panic creeping over me. It's pretty dreadful for a man to attain.
And he's got hair. In Get Smart, he doesn't have hair.
He might be a weak-kneed, quivering coward.
But
Wow.
don't let that worry you, Doctor. That's almost normal behavior. Even after a lot of trips, the fellow's on the nervous side. Everybody's first experience is terrifying.
But what gets me is how I blithely accepted this assignment. For some peculiar reason, I don't think I was actually aware up to a few moments ago of the fact that I was getting myself in the situation of being shot out of a cannon going up and coming back.
You can't tell a thing about it. You might love it.
Well, I'll tell you this, it's never going to become a hobby. It's a pleasure to know you, Miss Kramer.
Nice meeting you, Doctor.
And here goes. I'm seeing you. Hope my knees get me over there.
So he's going to join the cast now.
Nobody's first trip is any fun.
Seems like a nice enough fellow. You know, everything may turn out to be all right.
I hope so. We sold them on the space station again. Let's just hope that the moon launching goes well.
It will.
We won't be leaving for hours yet, probably not until after sunrise. Maybe it'd be better if you didn't wait until we launch.
Would you mind awfully? I can't stand to watch you get into that thing.
Oh, it's not so bad.
So long, fella. See any Martians? Give them my regards.
Well, this has to get more exciting as it goes on. I hope. So far, it's been kind of a sleeper. Oh, big forklift. Oh, my goodness.
Jim, I don't know what to say to you. I'm so ashamed of what I said the other
Oh,
night.
she's the one that
Kim, don't
flipped
worry.
out at dinner.
I didn't pay any attention to it.
I wouldn't do anything to hurt you, you know that.
Of course.
I don't know what gets into me. I don't know
I
why
guess her
I do it.
husband's on board
You
the
do
station,
understand.
and
Of course, I understand.
she's upset about
Rough
that.
on you as it can be with Dave away all the time.
You don't understand. Oh, Jim. Can't you see?
Oh. Oh. Oh, yeah. He seems just as shocked as I am. Wow. A bit of a twist. I'm not sure who her husband is on board the station. Guess we'll find out. Here it comes. Yeah, so the thing with the wings there is what that spaceship docks to. And of course we have the wheel over there. Oh, there's already one there, mounted on the big wing things. I guess, I don't know. So they just gotta go float out there without a tether or a line. I don't think I'd do it either way. Yeah, I wouldn't like having nothing beneath my feet.
Oh, Dave, Matt, how are you?
Oh, fine.
You look great. Thanks. Good to have you back, Jim. Thank you.
So one of those guys must be that lady's
Colonel Matthews, ship commander, my associate Dave
husband,
Rimmel.
I
Welcome
guess.
aboard, sir.
Thank you. Nice to know you. How do you do?
I believe we met once before at a symposium. You read a very interesting paper concerning missile trains.
Yes, I do remember. That would have been a couple of years ago. MIT, I believe.
That's right.
Well, as you know, Dr. Easton's going to be with us for a spell as an observer for the senatorial committee.
I hope I won't be too much in the way.
On the contrary, sir, we're proud of what we're doing up here. As a matter of fact, I'd like to take you on a tour of the wheel right now.
Fine. I'm anxious to see all of it.
Well, I'll meet you
Edward
in a little
Platt
while in
looks
the
so
control
funny
tower.
in
Good. See you.
what looks to me obviously a hairpiece. Oh, sometimes they're pretty obvious.
Not bad. We have the majority of Congress on our side.
You did a beautiful job, Jim. We were all proud of you. You gonna be much of a headache?
Who knows? I'm glad of one thing. The Senate's pro, even if he does happen to disagree with some of our ideas.
Maybe we can win him over on our side.
Hope so. I don't have to tell you how important it is that we do.
You see Kim?
Of course.
How was she?
Just fine. I'd say she was in excellent health.
How'd she act? Friend or enemy?
Well, I only saw her for a couple of times. First time, she was a little feisty. But the second time, she was warmer.
Great. She's gonna end up loving you.
Come in, Dr. Easton. Come in.
Have you got a minute?
Yes.
I know the countdown's about to begin, and well, I just wanted to wish you luck.
It's very thoughtful of you. Thank you.
Well, I've been up here just about a month, and I must say I've been more favorably impressed with each passing day.
That's good to hear.
Well, it's funny in a way. You know, quite frankly, I expected just the opposite. I rather anticipated that I'd not approve of nothing. I expected everything to be worth nowhere near the effort or cost. I thought I was dead set against.
Well, now that they're back on the spaceship, it is
Again, good luck.
kind of continuing to be a little bit boring.
To you too. Good luck.
Thank you.
Could that be the reason why
We're about to get over the rocket.
Take good care of
it
yourself,
was
baby.
it is an
Let me help
unsold
you.
pilot?
I'll try. Believe me, I'll try.
I'll go down to the airlock with all of you.
Jim.
Yeah?
I know I'm repeating myself.
Stop worrying about Kim.
The space station on the green slime is called Gamma 3. Gamma 3.
Start reactor power buildup for test.
It all takes place right on there.
Power buildup started.
Well, most of it.
2%.
Begin heat exchanger instrumentation check. Exchanger instrumentation begun. Advance reactor power to 10% criticality.
Reactor power advanced to 10% criticality.
What's your rod control reading, Gal?
Criticality holding 10%.
So it looks like they're back to where they originally were before the meteor collision.
Redundant systems in full sync.
Those guys are about to take off from, I assume,
Programming
from the
emergency alternates.
Dr. Logan?
Confirm Vernier
second little station there.
Close number 1 and number 2. Burn your engine links.
Number 1 and 2, burning engine links closed.
Nuclear reaction no longer constant. Not sustaining 10% criticality.
Dog?
Confirm. Criticality near 20%.
Hold.
Power off. Shut down nuclear pile.
I'm trying to. She's not responding.
Are you on automatic or manual?
Uh-oh, trouble
Control
again.
is not responding to either.
Criticality 22%.
Close tank valves. Shut off all working fluid.
All valves closed. There's no danger of premature thrust, but Maker and dog rods are withdrawn and no longer functioning. We have a runaway.
Man, oh man. You're not kidding. If she keeps building, if she hits 95%, she'll blow like an A-bomb.
Matt, you better alert all your people.
Uh-oh. More trouble at basically the same time.
Attention. This is Colonel Matthews speaking. We're faced with a possible nuclear explosion of the rocket ship. All personnel man emergency stations.
Man emergency stations. Secure all compartments.
Secure all compartments.
Damage control party, stand by.
What's your guess, Dave?
I'm trying to figure. Seems like it's got to be something in the servo linkage.
24. Close pressurization and thermal control in Charlie component.
Jim? Can you give me a reading of pressure and temp in Charlie component?
Sergeant?
Pressure and temp lost in Charlie.
That's your trouble. The servo linkage will be broken in that area.
Criticality 26%.
Got to get that pile closed down, and there's no way of doing it while those rods are out.
No way until we know exactly what's fouled up. 28%.
Those are secondary servo units in that component. They activate the pneumatic system of the reactor.
Man and ready.
I can climb in there through the central column if we run out of pressure.
Damage control, man and ready. I'm afraid that may take too long.
I've got to try it.
Guidance control, man and ready.
Go ahead.
Pressure and thermal control, man and ready.
If that rocket blows up, it will blow us up too.
We're at a calculated safe distance. Probably rock us. We'll probably lose orbit, but we'll probably live. Is that all you're worried about?
I didn't say that. I'm not exactly enjoying it.
30%. Gradient increase accelerating.
Oh, I hear sirens
You couldn't have stopped him.
out front.
The hotter that pile gets, the faster she'll keep building. They can run out of time all at once.
They know that as well as we do.
Not an uncommon thing to hear. It is 3:50 in the morning.
Depressurized rocket.
32%.
Yeah, those guys are over there on the rocket ship that's mounted on the big wing thing. I'm assuming.
34%.
So now it's a race against time as they're going to do something to the nuclear pile.
Yep, he's making it.
If I understand it correctly.
36%.
Oh, good coffee.
38%. Criticality, 40%. 44%. Criticality, 48%. Criticality, 52%.
I found it. A small bleed-off duct of a hydraulic conduit burst.
Yeah, it's all covered with
Globules froze against one of the servo
some type of ice or something.
It's jammed with ice.
Yeah.
Can you free it? I'll need a finer instrument so I don't foul it up. I'll get it.
At the rate the pile's building,
Oh boy, heart pounding stuff now.
I can make it.
No, I don't want you to try it. I want you all to abandon the rocket.
How far can we walk in the next 30 seconds? Where do we go?
%. Dr. Logan, even if he frees it, will it operate with the bleed-off duct broken?
Yes. You can free it. The servo will work. The bleed-off duct has nothing to do with the rod control.
58%. 64. 66.
Kind of a new tool.
Criticality is 70%. 72%.
Now, get back to the controls. Let me know if I free it.
74%. 76%. 78%.
So I don't know what he has to do, but we're getting pretty close to 100%, which I believe is probably going to be
Still stuck.
the end of everything. Well, unfortunately, the video just came to an end suddenly. And I don't know what happened. We were 56 minutes into this. The whole video itself was only 1 hour and 1 minute long, so we were practically to the end. So your guess is as good as mine as how it ended. I'm sure that everything was saved because this was a pilot, an unsold pilot, so they were hoping to make a TV show out of this. And perhaps the reason that it was unsold is it was just a little bit too boring. Had a lot of stuff, you know, sitting in the court and the Senate hearings or whatever, and just non-outer space stuff. So, in my opinion, that's probably what kind of killed it. Is it just got a little bit too boring. So, I don't know. But I did like most of what I saw, but I wish I could have saw the very end as a fix their nuclear pile problem. So anyway, comment down below what you thought of this. I'll go ahead and put it up if the sync isn't too bad. And that'll be that, I guess. So, but we'll continue on looking for more outer space movies and other things, other sci-fi movies as well. So that's going to be it for now. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.